a non-exclusive ingress and egress easement situated in the southwest quarter of Section 32, Township, North Range, blah, blah, blah. We made the banks compete because we got good borrowing history, but we're also saving money. Another $500. We're cutting $500 off of our payment for our current 300-acre chunk that's not with our house. Oh, an old tear-down barn. Somebody's got a little fall plot here. There's a creek down here. I want to see if it's year-round or just a runoff ditch. Look at the scenery here, man, beautiful. All right, we are on another road trip today. We are down in, yeah, one time this was either a food plot where they fenced it or somebody had horses in here or something. So, yeah, this is a nice property, ain't no doubt. Oh, cedar smells good. Yeah. Almost looks like somebody first time ever on a bush hog, like, woo! Right? I can make trails with this.
Right?
Oh,
yeah, boy. Hopefully they had a tractor with a cab on it.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to call this episode here since we're only halfway through the property. It's a beautiful property. I'll be working on getting part 2 up here ASAP. Hey guys, Kapper here. Welcome back. And if this is your first video on this project, I definitely recommend you go back to part 1 because this is really going to be an exciting mini series. This is our next project investment property here in southern Missouri. So today I'm going to bring you an up-to-the-minute update on where things stand because the initial closing date got pushed back, but the deal is still on. So let's get into the details. Thanks a lot. There's an old deer stand right there. Where are we at? Is that right in the middle there? Yeah. All right, so first here's a look at our contract. We had an aggressive closing. I believe this was on October 1st. But it's here you got your vacant land and lot contract. Here's our price. Very, very expensive. Down payment with escrow money which we had to put, but here you see our closing date right here was supposed to be on November 5th. So we had the contract that was pretty aggressive, you know, roughly a 30-day closing period, but that's not going to happen. But we really put the pedal to the metal on the people that are involved here. So we got my lender that's involved, our lender. We got the surveyor that's involved. We got the title company that's involved, and they all got to do and the appraisal. They all got to do their work and get this done, you know, in plenty of time. So that, you know, we are getting a loan for this. That's also in the contract right here, saying, hey, we got to get approved for a loan for the deal to go through. So that takes us back to the contract. We're supposed to close on November 5th, which brings us up to today's update. So let's continue on from there. All right, so here is a copy of the new survey. I'll show you what we got here. So right here is the existing house, and this here is the cell tower lease. Okay, so here is the survey boundaries for the new property, new project 205. Okay, no surprises. I've looked this over already for surprises and things like that, and so far no surprises that I have seen. So here's the existing driveway, okay? And so we're going to own right up to the edge of that driveway so that we also have an easement. We've got a 20-foot easement here on the driveway that goes back to the house. And then that barn is like right about here. Okay, I was a little bit off. The barn is actually right here, the red square on the new property line. And then the bump out, I'll describe here in a second. Okay, see, so here's the bump out, the lagoon bump out that we covered on the last episode. It's got to be 75 feet, so that's all good. And here you see the easement here, 20-foot ingress easement. And we did this specifically because, like, like I'd like to cut a new road around this house. So right now, if you're coming in here, you're driving right by their house to get to the barn and then the back property. But I'd like to cut a new road, right over here, and where you don't, even to get to this barn, it's going to make it a more pleasant ingress and egress for the property here, instead of having to go by their house the whole time. So that's my first thought on cutting a new road, which is why but we got the easement here regardless. So no matter what we do with this property here, we can access it, anywhere along this driveway. So a few things to look at here is the size, 205.17 acres. So it came in pretty much what we expected. Here's a little more detailed view. There's a secondary easement, if you will, where that cellular tower is down here. We had to make sure we get an easement to be able to come in to the other easement with their house. That's all written here legally now. I didn't see any surprises on the boundaries. They all look pretty good. Here's a little interesting thing. It's kind of a bump out. Well, I didn't want to erase the survey, but I did do that. Anyways, this line bumps out. It's not a straight line all the way up. It'd be interesting to get boots on the ground and see what's going on there, but again, not a big deal. And there's all this legal gobbledygook you see around here, which is just, it's normal. They got to describe this every move on this survey. And here's the ingress thing, a non-exclusive ingress and egress easement situated in the southwest quarter of section 32, township, north range, blah, blah, blah. So each little bitty pin that he sets for the driveway, the actual easement is all surveyed and all legal there. So you shouldn't have any problems in the future. So, okay, there's the survey. So let's get back to the closing dates and what had to happen. So the survey had to come first before the appraisal can get done. So we got the appraisal ordered and we asked them to expedite it. He found the first company said we can't get it done in that time, so we had to go to the second company, and they promised they would expedite it, but they can't finish the appraisal until they have the survey. So that's done now, just got in last Friday. Today is November 5th, Wednesday. So now we have bumped the closing date back from November 5th, which was today. We're supposed to close to, I think it's November 12th. It's next Friday anyway. So everyone can get their work done. We can get the appraisal done. Check. The survey's done, check. So my lender needs to do the loan, check. And also through this process, we're getting a secondary loan through our bartering. We negotiated our current property second loan. We negotiated a much better rate through the bank. We made the banks compete because we got good borrowing history. So we're saving money both on the actual loan for this property, but we're also saving money, another $500. We're cutting $500 off of our payment for our current 300-acre chunk that's not with our house. So we really came out good for the financing on this. But that's a whole nother topic. Using debt to get what you want in life and to eventually make some good money on it down the road. So that's the update. We are super excited, looking forward to it. We'll be in before deer season. Gun season starts November 15th here. So, we might get some people in there for deer hunting. We'll see how that goes. But that's the update. Super excited to get in there and get started. I do have an update on the dozer, which I guess I'll give you now and overlay it. But so the dozer's been delivered. It's just getting in the shop right now. They're in the estimate phase of so the tech, the mechanic, if you will, has to look over everything over, report back to the service manager. Now we need a new estimate, which will say yes, because I want the leaks fixed and I want it tightened up. They're going to check the heater, put a new antenna on it for me so I could jam when I'm over there. But my plan is hopefully to bring that dozer, the high lifter, over to this project property and get started here soon. So exciting stuff. Thanks for joining us. If you liked it, hit the like button. Consider subscribing. We'll be doing this for the next year or so. This is going to be an exciting project. All right. Thanks a lot. Take care.